Philadelphia Phillies, a very young team indeed led by a first-year manager, faced a steep uphill battle Sept. 20. Beginning that evening in Atlanta, and for the following 10 days, they would somehow have to make up 5.5 games on the division-leading Braves by playing those Braves 7 times with a 4-day pause beginning Sept. 24. While they played the Colorado Rockies. The alternatives were either hoping for a whole lot of help against Colorado to win a wild-card slot or missing the playoffs. Their only break in the pressure against two teams in aggregate 29 games over .500 would follow the fourth game against Atlanta on the near Sunday, which would begin at 1:35 p.m. before they flew two-thirds of the way across the country to play Colorado the next evening. On Sept. 27. Their game against the Rockies was also an afternoon game before a flight back to Philadelphia to play, again, the Braves the next evening. To dismiss the Phillies was a temptation for everyone, this observer included. Perhaps all was not lost, however, even considering the Herculean tasks ahead. It appeared that for 4 of the coming contests, the Fightin' Phils would send out Aaron Nola and Jake Arrieta for 2 games apiece. Nola had phenomenal numbers for the season, and Arrieta was a former Cy Young awardee and world champion. More from call to the pen. Immediate pressure. The most important games were the 2 coming up immediately, though. In them, the Phillies would be depending on the 2 weakest links in their rotation, Vince Velasquez and Nick Pivetta, and they needed to win both games. 1 win in the 2 would leave them still 5.5 behind Atlanta, and 2 losses would push them 7.5 back with only 9 games to play. However, 2 wins would leave the Phillies merely 3.5 games behind the Braves, with Arrieta set to face Sean Newcomb Saturday afternoon. This was the season essentially compressed into 48 hours. Velasquez's opponent Thursday evening would be Kevin Gausman, who had pitched for the dreadful 2018 Baltimore Orioles until the end of July. Pivetta would face Julio Teheran. In both games, the Phillies pitchers would start with ERAs at 4.50 or higher. In both games, the Braves hurlers would be sporting ERAs just under 4.00. The rest of the season's stats were a bit irrelevant except for head-to-head meetings with the team involved. The particular histories. Gausman had not faced the Phillies this season, but he had pitched well for Atlanta since arriving from Baltimore, going 5-2. Velasquez had faced Atlanta 4 times and lost all 4 games, the last time on May 22. About the only 2 things seeming positive about that record were 4 of the 18 runs he had given up to the Braves were unearned, and, to trot out a cliché, he was due. The Nivello had lasted between 2 2/3 and 6 innings in his starts. Pivetta had faced Atlanta 4 times as well, and the Phillies had won 3 of his games, but he was 1-1 personally. He last faced the Braves May 21 and had given them no runs in 7 innings in the game he won. Teheran had opposed the Phillies 3 times early in the season and personally booked 1 decision, a win, while his team had gone 2-1. Next, Phillies offensive changes for 2019. Want your voice heard? Join the call to the pen team. Write for us. It didn't look particularly encouraging for Philadelphia, but there it was. Saturday. It would probably be very obvious whether the Phillies' playoff chances were in a death spiral coma or not. If not, they would still have some work to do.